Hello, Rose.
Oh,
Lovely to see you. How are you today?
yeah, I'm really good. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. So I wanted to ask you and share with my audience basically the reason why you came to work with me. What kind of brought you to me? How did you find out about me?
Yes. So, foremost, I came to you with some concerns about my daughter. So we met at a fantastic seminar, an event to do with recognizing and responding to ADHD in girls. And at that stage, so Vivi was what, 3.5 or something. I was pretty convinced that we were dealing with some form of ADHD, possibly autism, and I'd been pretty convinced of that virtually since the day she was born. We'd had just a lot of behavioural type issues. Vivi had always just seemed quite ill at ease with herself. Massive mood swings as we sort of progressed and went through twos and threes, and we were getting huge emotions, and we were feeling quite powerless. All of us were kind of on eggshells. My husband and I were both finding it really difficult. It was tension in the household, and we just wanted to be able to help her. And I had a sense that we just didn't know enough about how she was experiencing the world and what her kind of difficulties were. So we met at that seminar, and you explained a bit about your work and your experience with your own daughter, and a lot of it. There was just a lot that really resonated with me, and my key takeaway. I mean, the rest of the course was fantastic, but that evening, I remember saying to my husband, "I need to speak to this woman. I really think this could this could create some change for us. We need to get in touch with this lady," and he was very open to it. But actually, and then I think as we approached our initial kind of consultation, I was starting to think, actually, there's probably a lot in this that could help me. Because I mean, I've been very focused on Vivi, and you'll know yourself, you become a mum, all of your attention and all of your focus kind of turns to little one and just kind of doing your duties. But actually, I was struggling myself. I was really starting to feel, in particular, hormonally, I was really feeling my monthly cycles in a way that I really hadn't before. So getting, oh God, a really intense kind of rage, at least once a month, and finding that I'd kind of get myself into a bit of a hot state that then my nervous system seemed to be taking forever to cool down afterwards. So I was just getting these really protracted, intensive experiences of yeah, a kind of rage and a kind of real inner turmoil that was impacting all of us, and obviously affecting Vivi, my daughter, um, and and also just feeling not very sharp, not very focused, that kind of thing. So equally, I started to
Mhm.
think, there could well be a kind of nutritional aspect to this that we could start to address through this work. So
Amazing. So you came to talk to me. We had a really good first consultation. We
yeah,
were, and I think, it was quite evident that you felt really seen that day, that really
yeah.
understood. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were just saying before, it was quite emotional because it was, you could obviously see, but it really felt that you could feel what we were feeling in terms of the weight. I was feeling so weighed down by the sense that I was just helpless in all of these situations with Vivi, with whatever was going on with myself. You just don't know what to do. And it definitely felt
Absolutely.
like you got a very keen sense of that, and you were there for us to help us. And from that first moment, it really started to feel. I could already feel some of that weight lift because, as you say, just being seen, being
Oh,
heard, having some of this, what was actually feeling like trauma at that time, having some of that just kind of understood
yeah.
by another compassionate human being was really big, was really important.
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that because it's so personal, right? And
Mm.
you just don't turn. You want to do the best for your child, but actually parenting, we don't learn how to deal with all these things,
No,
do we?
no, exactly. And I think also as women, a lot. I'd been to the doctors about these various issues, and there was a lot of hmming and ahhing, and well, we don't quite know why one woman reacts this way to this thing, And I got a lot of, well, we don't all together, no. And you think, yeah, okay. And there wasn't a lot of, compulsion to really, I don't know, I never really felt like anyone was trying to understand my experience, whether that's through the symptoms or, however you want to come at it. And again, that was why it was so nice to just feel like someone was trying to get a sense of what life was feeling like for us at that time. So yeah,
Yeah.
really, really
I
monumental.
remember
Yeah.
I remember you saying, that feeling when you feel like you've run like 100 lives before 9 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, lived 100 lives before before drop off. It's just, yeah, and that's exactly why
And
I
I
was feeling
totally
just drained all through every layer, physically, emotionally, mentally, just feeling completely sapped of energy. And yeah, yeah.
So then after our consultation, basically, I like to do an initial consultation to understand, especially from your point of view, what exactly your body needed and how to
Mm,
support it. And of course, on Vivi's side as well.
yeah.
And so we went down the route of Nutrigenomics, didn't we? So
Yes.
how did you feel about the whole testing? Was it easy to do? What information did you get? What do you remember from it?
Yeah, actually, I haven't thought about it in a while, but no, the test itself was really, really straightforward. And I suspected that Vivi would be quite into it. I suspected this was at the time when she was really into like potions and things. She loved making potions, and she had loved using little pipettes and things. And, she liked all of that. And so she was fascinated by the idea that, we needed to take this swab. And then I think asking you at one point if you had any idea when the results were coming back, not because I was trying to rush it, but because every single day Vivi was saying to me, when am I getting, I can't remember what she used to call it. She had a funny word for it, but I knew what she meant, when are the results coming through? Because she was just, enthralled by the notion that, she was going to get this report all about how her body works, and how all these different processes and pathways in her brain and in her body were working. So she was kind of really, really engaged in it, which was lovely. But yeah, certainly the testing, absolutely fine. And yeah, the main thing I remember from that is just her being as eager as you can imagine for understanding a bit more and seeing this report.
Fantastic. That's great. The fact that it's easy to do, you could do it at
Yeah.
home, it's a saliva test, it makes it so accessible for families and for
Yes.
children of all ages,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically, right?
Definitely.
So brilliant. And so if we start with Vivi, maybe, what did you find out from the reports? What's the biggest change that you've made following, getting the
So
information from the report?
Well, so actually, I mean, what was interesting and stands to reason, I suppose, was that there were a lot of parallels between me and Vivi, and actually, I think that was part of my struggle in trying to help her and understand her, was that I kind of saw a lot of myself in her. I saw some of the ways that she found life and the world overwhelming and found emotions overwhelming. And I mean, to this day, that's something I still kind of struggle with. But certainly as a young person, I remember having very, very big feelings, and being aware that I processed emotion in a way that was quite different to other people in my family and to people around me. As I say, that feeling of total internal overwhelm. That, as I say, I could see in Vivian. I was so desperate to help ease, some of that strife for her. So yeah, it was. And what was really nice, I think, was also, when you're dealing with whether it's hormonal or kind of emotional issues, it's really hard to take judgment out of the procedure, because you're dealing with how you feel, and how you're coping, and all these kinds of things. So what was really nice was just being able to see almost kind of at a distance, and in a very straightforward kind of
Hmm.
way, this
Hmm.
is how your engine is running,
Your
if you
body.
like. It's just that it's
Hmm.
there in black and white, and it helps because it means that you and I had a way to talk about it again without it needing to become overly emotional. It's just, you're looking at um yeah, as I say, how everything's working, and you're able to just take it in without the focus so much on what the sort of experience of it is in the moment. Does that make sense? You're kind of looking at what comes
Yeah.
before that and how the cogs are working. So and I just remember thinking that there was just so much of it that made sense. It was really that kind of moment of, lots of it we had a suspicion about, and of course, we saw it in her behavior and mine. We had our suspicions about what might be going on, but to be able to look at it in the report and finally say, we've got something to work with here. We can do something with this, and we can find a way forward, and we can make this engine run a bit smoother. That was just wonderful. And like I say, it was just it was nice in a way to see so much correlation between Vivi and me, because I always sensed that it would be quite a nice thing for us to pursue together, getting to understand ourselves a little bit better. And I was hopeful that it would mean, looking ahead into Vivi's future, that she perhaps wouldn't have quite so much of the trouble that I had trying to navigate adolescence and teenage years and all that kind of tricky stuff, because we know it doesn't get easier for girls, unfortunately. There's a lot to battle with. So
that's an advantage of sport, is that you do it once in your life, and now Vivi's got her own little report that you can then use as she goes through puberty, and later on in life you can go back to that and go, okay, maybe the hormones are starting to fluctuate, things are being impacted, let's look back at the report and see what else can we do,
absolutely.
That's amazing. So what has changed for Vivi, like in kind of practical term? What has changed? How was she feeling?
So we got her on to so she was, aside from the other thing I didn't mention, so aside from the kind of behavioral side of things, she was a really, really, really fussy eater, dreadful eater, and had dreadful constipation, was suffering these unbelievable bouts of constipation that, oh my goodness, I mean, of all the things we've been through with her, that's probably the most stressful. I have lost, I don't know how many brain cells, and gained I don't know how many grey hairs worrying about her bowel movements. So that had been really, really difficult. So we introduced a probiotic, which she loves, which in itself was just, oh my goodness, something that she has willingly, ingested, that hasn't taken an absolute, battle of wills, and she liked the taste of it. And again, the fact that it was a little powder that goes into her milk, and I think there was an element of that, that sort of potion making sense that she has, that she quite enjoyed. So, and we started noticing a change with that straight away, pretty much straight away. So she was starting to have, for basically the first time in her whole life, semi-regular bowel movements. And I mean, I wasn't, for the first little while, I didn't want to believe it. I kind of wanted to believe it might be something else, because I just couldn't imagine that particular difficulty might finally be behind us. And although we have seen sort of relapses where we know that when she's out of routine around holiday times, she'll always tend to kind of clam up a little bit. But we have certainly not seen anything like the return to, I mean, at the worst, we went 3 weeks without a bowel movement. Oh, goodness. And it was just painful to watch her in such distress and in such discomfort. So, yeah, never gone back to that kind of horror. And she still takes it every day, and she enjoys it. And so on that front, things have improved exponentially. But also behaviorally, she is just, it's funny the number of times that my husband and I sit on the settee of an evening, and sometimes it's after perhaps quite a difficult bedtime, and so we're sort of heaving a sigh of relief, but both of us saying, yeah, but do you remember what it used to be like? Like conscious always to remind ourselves, even in the difficult moments, just what we used to deal with, because you forget so easily. Time races
Really
on,
do.
and kids are changing so much anyway, so there's all this kind of new sides of their lives and personalities to enjoy. So yeah, she is so much more at ease in herself. She's more energetic. The other thing with Vivi is she never slept very well, but she was always tired. So we've seen her sleeping better, and yeah, just feeling so much better in herself. Um, Almost, I don't think we've had a single, at that point, we were having quite regular, big, seismic kind of screaming fits. And I think we've had pretty much none of that since we've had her on her supplements. So really, really big changes. But as I say, I think probably the gut issues, to be out the other side of that and have her finally in a bit more of a man. I mean, she's never going to be a everyday girl, but the fact that
Yep.
she's a bit more regular and is just a bit more
Yeah.
comfortable. Oh my goodness, it just means the world. It is such again an enormous weight off our shoulders. So hugely thankful for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 Amazing,
Yeah.
really feedback, really amazing. I'm trying not to get emotional here.
No, it
But
is. It
how
is. It's yeah. Sorry, it's been such a journey.
how about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about you? How are you
Yes.
feeling today
So I'm feeling
when
great.
you came?
And yeah, so I started taking some supplements that you'd recommended, and I didn't feel anything straight away. But over time, and the biggest thing was, so I hadn't noticed any particular changes straight away, but I then remember getting my period and suddenly
Mhm.
thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't have, hold on a minute. And it took me by surprise, because I no longer sort of really tracked them, because I always knew when it was about a week away, because I would turn into an absolute psychopath. And so my period arrived, and I realized it just hadn't happened. I hadn't really felt anything much. And that was just extraordinary. Um, and so I suppose from then on, I started to just notice that I was, yeah, a little bit more just on top of, just feeling a lot more stable, a lot more grounded, and able to,
Mhm.
I wasn't quite so in a constant state of, I often used to feel like I spent my entire life just braced for doom, braced for impact, braced for something to go horribly wrong. Um,
Mhm.
and so there was a kind of inner calm that I was starting to feel, just make most of everything a little bit easier. Um, so
Wow.
that was amazing. And then what I think's really been powerful about it is, once you start to get a handle on issues that previously you've just felt totally lost in the woods over, once again you have a report to work with and you have supplements that are starting to make a difference, it's the empowerment side of it. So it's the
Mhm.
fact that since then, I remember us talking about the fact that, I wasn't all that happy with how much I was drinking. Not that I had a massive drinking problem, but I was having a glass of wine every day just to get through the day, and as a bit of a reward for for surviving. And
Yep.
I just wasn't very happy about that, because I didn't really feel like I was in control of that. I would feel the urge kick in, and I would just say, "Yeah, fine, I deserve it." And I think the changes I was starting to feel with the supplements just helped me to feel so much more in control. So I was able to start making other changes, like to my drinking. I don't drink in the week at all, and it was probably 2 years maybe since I'd gone 5 solid days, without having a drink. And so it's all those kind of peripheral benefits that come when you just start to feel like you're on top of things, like you've got a bit more of a handle on
Mhm.
on life and on yourself, and you're just managing the daily grind of family life and all that comes with it, with a little bit more ease and a bit more grace and a bit more dignity. That's it's just been feeling, we've all been feeling so much lighter. I suppose it's an easy way to put it. And yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, about to head into summer holidays. I couldn't imagine feeling, this time last year, already feeling desperate and feeling like, oh God, everybody just hold on. Let's just survive. Now, yeah, worlds away from that. yeah, much better.
Unbelievable. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Well done. Well done
yeah.
for
Well,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
I can't speak
And
more, highly enough about just, what a change, and in so many ways that it's been for us. It has, I don't know, we've just got our lives back a little bit. So yeah, really
beautiful.
grateful.
So,
I'm so pleased to share it with
so
others.
thank you. Thank you so much. And if let's say a family was watching this now and they're kind of hesitating,
Mm.
because yes, it is a bit of an investment, right? When you kind of look at the price and you
Mm.
think, oh my goodness, what would you say to them? I mean, is it worth it?
Oh my God, just do it. And the nice thing is, I from the moment we decided to take the plunge, we have never ever once thought, oh, it is quite expensive. So yeah, we've spent all this. It just hasn't. It hasn't even ever been a factor. It has never been something we've really considered beyond, having taken the initial steps. It was just like, yeah, money well spent. I think I look back on the amount of money we once upon a time spent on every gadget and gizmo that we could get our hands on that was supposed to help with this and help with that and help with the other. And so, all of that combined would have amounted to, I don't know how much. It's just probably the best money we've spent in the last few years, in terms of our improving our well-being, improving, family dynamics. Our home is just, happy. None of the tension and the struggle that we used to feel on a daily basis. So yes, if there's a family out there feeling all of that kind of negativity and difficulty, then just go for it. Go for it. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much for
No.
sharing this. It's so powerful. I'm really, really, I'm just grateful I've worked with you, and well done for just,
Thank
taking
you.
that
Yeah, no,
change.
we're feeling
Yeah,
good and feeling, proud of the proud of where we've got to. It's fabulous. So my huge thanks to you.
it should. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you again. And we'll
We'll
carry on
talk
speaking.
soon, I'm sure. Yeah, thank you, Sandrine.
All right.